What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists? Welcome to another episode of Chill with Pete. Now, for those of you that are new to this is a series which has evolved slightly in terms of its purpose. Now, as some of you know, I suffer with MS, and in the early days, Chill with Pete was the video series I used to put out when I was literally too ill to do any actual hobby. So you know my hands would be shaking and I just couldn't paint, or I felt too fatigued to move, or the pains was just, it's like, no, it was not fun. Those were pretty extreme times, but it launched a series where now we're having a coffee break, and the premise of this is this video will last as long as it takes me to drink said cup of coffee in my All Work and No Play Makes Jack a Dull Boy mug today, from The Shining, of course. So I will do my best to edit out the slurping of my coffee, because I think it's a little bit hot at the moment. Now, the purpose of it now is just to literally chill out, have a coffee break with me. Perhaps I know back in the day, some of you used to watch this on your coffee breaks at work, and I was having a coffee break as well, and it was kind of like, yeah, let's just have a coffee break together and catch up. And now it's also kind of like, I tell you a bit about what's going on with my hobby, what's going to be coming up and things like that. For those of you that aren't really interested in the On the Bench with Pete series, the paint-along series that I do, where I just chat about life, the universe and everything in between, and some hobby stuff as well, believe it or not. So, but you just want to get the updates, the snippets. Well, okay, Sisters of Battle, which I'm currently working on at the moment on my bench, almost done. And so they are the start of my Sisters Army, my Adeptus Sororitas Army. So I'm quite pleased with how they've come out. I've got more Sisters to do from my shelf of, I used to call it the Shelf of Shame. Behind all there, there's a load of models, but it's my retirement shelf now. So I'm actually reluctant to go to the shelf to get the models now to paint. How crazy is that? There was a time when I thought, I want to get rid of all my unpainted models. I just want to paint them all up. I did that. I achieved that goal, and then I was like, and I felt kind of bereft of something to look forward to that I could immediately get stuck into, should I wish. So I, over the following years from that, I immediately rectified that, and I just started building up my unpainted models again. Right, so I'm going to try my coffee now. Still a bit hot, but very enjoyable. So the weather here in Plymouth is diabolical, absolutely awful, but at least we're here in the studio, and I can do good things out here. I might put the heating on soon, actually. Yeah. I've still got plenty of water. I use the water to wash my brushes. So I don't have running water out here, but I use the water from the dehumidifier recycled, and it washes the brushes just fine. And I've done that for years and years. So, I might pop the dehumidifier on again later to gather some water. But I think I'm alright for a while. I've got some more showcases coming up, so keep an eye out for those. I'm thinking of doing Astra Militarum next, actually. Yeah, that is my thought. And I know when I looked, I didn't have nearly as many as I thought I did initially. So that might need sorting out at some point, So get some more Astra Militarum on the go, so that'll be good. Oh, yeah. Right. Hang on a sec. Yes, a thought has just occurred. I am starting to experiment now with polymer clay, and my thought process is to see what I can make terrain-wise, perhaps. Start off with some basic terrain and, see how it goes. I don't know. But I wanted your thoughts. What do you think? I know there are some amazing dioramas and epoxy resin things using polymer clay in the resin and all that kind of thing, and that looks super duper uber cool. It really does. And eventually I would like to try and emulate one of the one of the videos I've seen, which is actually an alien in a vat of liquid, which is actually epoxy resin, so it's not liquid, but you know, not once it's cured. But it looks like it's in liquid, and it's in a crate with like a biohazard symbol on one side and NASA on the other. And I just thought that looks, that looks so cool. I don't know whether I put the LED lights on the inside of the crate or of the, in the resin, or whether I'd have it like just something on top shining down, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. But at the moment, I'm in the process of, playing about with some cheap epoxy resin, which is more like the kiddie craft stuff that you get, before I spend out like 18 quid on a decent polymer clay, which like the real experts seem to use. And yeah, so I'll play around with the cheap stuff first, see how I go with that. Perhaps I can build up some skills there. But if nothing else, I'm hoping to be able to perhaps craft some basic terrain or some really cool monsters for my role-playing games. So that's going to be good as well. Role-playing, yes, I know I've been asked, when is the next Dwarves of Fangorn coming out? I have been asked multiple times, and the answer is still the same. I'm just too busy at the moment with work, which is still going well, by the way. And I'm pleased to say that work is good. I'm happy there, and all is good with me on that front. As you know, I can't talk too much about it, but yeah, just that it's going well. But busy, so what I should have done, really, I suppose, back when I started the series of Dwarves of Fangorn was do a load in kind of as a backup, but kind of like I do with my On the Bench now, because they are easy. Just turn the camera on and go, really, pretty much. I do have to sync the sound from my my microphone here to the camera, but hey, that's nothing, is it, really? And yeah, so once my sisters are done, I've got some aliens figures to do from the Aliens board game. It's actually the Alien expansion, Get Away From Her, You Bitch expansion, which includes the Ripley in the Mech Loader model, which I want to do, which I've started. It's got Ripley with Newt, holding Newt, where she goes back in, or she went back in to rescue her, so she's on her way out. And for the life of me, I can't remember what colours I painted the original Ripley for, so I'm going to have to dig out the Ripley model and have a look. Go, oh, right, okay, and I'll just either that and approximate the colours, or go back and watch some videos where I'm actually showing what colours I painted her. Who knows? Anyway, yeah. So that's that. And the rain has stopped. Yeah, you probably can't hear it from here, but yeah, the rain has stopped now. But it's one of those funny days where it's pouring down rain 1 minute and then it stops. Then you'll get a couple of drips and then boom, downpour again. Craziness, it absolutely is. So yeah, another drink of coffee. Now, once you start drinking this coffee, it goes really quickly because it cools down really quickly, which is the point. Anyway, yes. So my point, talking about the polymer clay. Just bear with me a sec. Have another sip of coffee. Oh yes, that hits the spot. Right, tutorials wise, I'm wanting to do some more tutorials at the moment, but rather than just me go, oh yeah, here's a really cool tutorial on how I paint this or how I build that. Is there any tutorials you guys would like to see me do? And please bear in mind, is there anything you think I could do simply with with the polymer clay? Perhaps I could have a go at. I'm in the process of making a sort of basic. Actually, I did a Tyranid conversion back along, and I'm just trying to base a kind of a monster on that for now. And I want to try some different techniques for making teeth on a mouth as well. Then I'd like to. I've got some wire on the way that I'm going to use for the framework for my polymer clay models, because it's a bit flimsy to stand up on its own until you bake it off. So I wanna get that done. I'm just going to be trying out stuff, but I wouldn't mind some ideas for either painting or building. You know, painting models. Are there any models or techniques you'd like to see done as a tutorial that perhaps I don't have? I've got about 73, 74, 70 odd anyway tutorials in my playlist already, and there's a couple more in my Patreon tutorials. So if you are a patron to my channel, you will have access to those as well at the correct level, of course. Just check the level tier system and it will tell you what you will unlock if you do that. I want to do another airbrushing tutorial sometime if I can. It's just, but I want to structure it if I can, if possible. So much to do, so little time. I've got some notes here on what I want to do. Yeah, so I want to do my Imperial Guard showcase. I want to do that. I've asked you for ideas on tutorials, so if there's anything out there you'd like to know how to do, that would be cool. Wet blending, whatever, you know, anything like that. Now, I spoke about this on, and it's not up yet, but I did speak about it on my latest Painting with Patrons video, which is like On the Bench with Pete, except as with all Patreon videos, no adverts, high res, and you know, you're good to go, basically. I'm going to be doing a motivational video, hopefully. And I said on Painting with Patrons that I was going to do it for my personal channel. I'd like to try and do something to kind of be, sort of inspire other people with hidden disabilities, I suppose, who perhaps may have been in a similar circumstance to myself, that got medically retired, out of the workplace, found it incredibly difficult to get back into like employment again, and how I went about that, and the fact that, you know, basically if I can do it, I'm sure you can too. So I said I was going to do that on my personal channel, but I changed my mind last night, and I decided last night I would like to do it on both my hobby channel here and my personal channel, which is just called Peter Gooding. Check it out if you want. Not no hobby stuff on there. It's just me. But I would like to put that out so that I could reference both, and I'll say in the video, this is also on my other channel as well, blah blah blah. And I also want to get I have a third channel as well, which is Pete's Media Reviews, which I haven't really got it off the ground properly yet. It's just it's the time factor again as well. But that's where I review books and movies and things like that. It's the book editor, proofreader in me coming out, I suppose. My wife's latest book, is going quite well, swimmingly well. So I foresee it won't be too long before I'm proofreading that first draft to go through for all the stuff I look for on a first draft writing, which will then get sent back for the second draft of embellishments to take place. Well, I will write the second draft. I'll just put in the corrections, the immediate ones, to start with, any spelling errors or grammatical errors, tensing, punctuation, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's going really well, so that's cool. And I'm hoping this year to kind of dip my toes into the audiobook world. Perhaps we can get her books in audiobook format. That would be really super cool. She's got the first trilogy at the moment, which is Night of Phalor, Parallax, and Rise of the Alpha, as well as her short story book. And she's writing the next sort of series of books now. And they're kind of linked. They are linked in the sort of multiverse universe thing. They do have links, and you will see that as you go through. And there's some really cool ones as well. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give the plot away when the first draft isn't even complete yet. We're not even halfway yet, so. But we've got a lot of work ahead, so that's going to take up a lot of time as well. So it's all these other things which, you know, stop me doing, well, it just slows down the process of video making for the hobby, doesn't it? You guys know this. I'm sure you have the same sort of thing. So you've got to prioritize and plan. It really does force you to plan though, doesn't it? Which is cool. Oh, I'll show off. Got some little tools. I've put them in this plastic box. These are, I don't want them falling out, but these are just clay sculpting tools. A couple of them which I used to use for green stuff and milliput and that kind of thing. But I've got some more on the way. Some little chisel things and, you know, different sculpting tools. I'm seriously looking into this sculpting lot, guys. I am. So I'm not saying I'm going to be like, you know, some amazing clay worker like some of them are. They really are good. But I think I will be able to do a half decent job. Good enough for me anyway. So yeah, and then if I can impart some basic techniques to other beginners, then great, you're expanding your world as well. It's all a hobby at the end of the day. Another sip of coffee coming up. That was a big glug of coffee. I do apologise. Well, I don't know why, because I'm editing it out, so you don't get to hear it anyway. Yes, I've got a load of Reaper miniatures as well. I quite like my Reaper miniatures, as you know, and I've got a load of them to do. I'm also doing Doctor Who. I've got the first Doctor, the one portrayed by William Hartnell, and K9, and those are the miniatures from the Warlord game, Doctor Who Exterminate, I think it's called. Yeah, I think it's called Exterminate. It's a miniatures game, not that old, so but I'm using them. I want to use them for Doctor Who role-playing, and that's for further down the line. I don't have the time to do those RPG session games, those solo RPG sessions like Dwarves of Fangorn at the moment, because they take so long to do, set up and edit. They just do. You know, and I'm always looking for quicker, better ways of doing it, but I don't want to compromise the kind of fundamental skeleton of what it is, you know, the structure of the videos too much. So yeah, I'm nearly there with coffee, so you're nearly free, guys. If you've watched this far, then, you know, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all my followers and fans, as you know, and I really enjoy doing these. These are just me having a coffee break, getting ready to set up and do something else. I'm probably going to go and get my Astro Militarum. And here comes the rain. You can't hear it, but because you want to condense the mic, but it's raining outside. If I had the ordinary camera mic on, you probably would hear it. It would probably pick it up. Yeah. Anyway, right. That's it, my dudes. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. If you do like the video, please give it a thumbs up. That's always appreciated. If not, give it a thumbs down. Say, boo, crap. Get that. I don't care either way. It's all good feedback, and the YouTube blah, 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 get my words out in a minute. The YouTube algorithm will make use of it either way, but it's good. Feedback is good. All good. And if you really like it and you want to help, you know, promote me and that sort of stuff, share it. That is a big one. Sharing, word of mouth. I appreciate all my followers, as I've said. If you really, really want to help support me, check out my Patreon campaign. I'll put some names up of people who are currently supporting me. Thank you guys. You're literally keeping the lights on out here right now, and that's good. But if we can get better funding, the Patreon stuff will increase and it will get better. So, and that will mean quality, because quality takes time. It really does. So thanks ever so much for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to war. I will see you on another video. Bye for now. Bye bye.